Good evening and welcome to your transformative program, Politics and Beyond. As we have always been doing, this is the platform where we only speak to the facts. We determine how the news should be. We don't discuss any issues with emotions and with some level of partiality. We don't mislead. All we do is to give you the facts and the information as they are, with the intention of us transforming ourselves for the purposes of the near future that we all want to have. We want to have a better Ghana, and that is all we are interested in. I'm still your host, Emmanuel Jr. If you remember, about 2 or 3 weeks ago, some things came up into the public space, and normally most of these things comes through the social media, and it was mixed up with emotions. It was mixed up with misinformation. People will come up and they were giving all the facts according to their perspective. We tried, or other quarters also tried to bring out the facts, but it looks like still people were having all the emotions. And that is why we decided that we are going to allow the emotions to die off. And then you and I, dispassionately, without emotions, will go through what exactly happened and what we mixed and what we needed to know for the purposes of transforming ourselves, as I indicated. Now, as always, you can get interactive with us, and I'm encouraging you to do so. Get interactive with us right from now. Our WhatsApp platform is active. Our social media platforms are all active. The Facebook, the YouTube, you can have us there as the address exhibited on the screen. On WhatsApp, you can also engage with us on the number 050-8881-800, as you can see on the screen, 050-8881-800. We are going to take a short break, and when we come back, I'm going to introduce to you the August guest that we have, who is going to help us discuss the topic that we have for us this evening. Trust you me, this is an episode you wouldn't want to miss for anything. I'm encouraging you to call in your colleagues, call in your friends, your loved ones. Let them tune in, whether on Facebook, online, or even using the traditional station that is there, or channel that is the XYZ. Just stay tuned. We'll be right back, and when we come back, we'll continue with the conversation.
The average human body mass should have at least 60% water for optimal performance in any physical or mental exercise. We can help you maintain it naturally. X Natural Mineral Water. Simply natural. For bulk purchase, call 0596 273 546 or 0596 273 547. This advert is FDA approved.
Welcome to AutoCheck Vehicle Diagnostic and Licensing Center.
I hear my car can be checked here without going to Accra.
Sure. Emission, check.
Alignment, check.
Brakes, check. Visit AutoChecks at Koforidua Aquadum Road for the roadworthiness of your vehicle, from saloon cars to heavy-duty industrial vehicles. Madam, your car is now ready for the road.
Thank you so much. Auto checks. Check.
Auto Checks. Your safety, our priority.
Check. Auto checks. If I cry na menyisika, edia ye mefui.
Ehin fa pa na menya bosia, edia tre medwuma yimu. Guy cry my bread. Me ye busia ato taxi fufu. Suhum Rural Bank.
Suhum Rural Bank.
Yɛma akwa ababa Suhum Rural Bank. Yɛwɔ nhyehyɛ ahodoɔ bi te sɛ dwadifo abosia, akuokuro bosia, susu account, ɛne daso wɔ hɔ savings account, mebada chain savings account, ɛne deɛ keka ho. Frɛ Suhum Rural Bank was 03422919896. Na wɔn nso wetumi aka sɛ
Suhum Rural Bank. Ama ene mayeka owner.
Suhum Rural Bank. Enti me pa minie.
Me damwase.
Suhum Rural Bank, growing our heritage.
We are one man short. Should we invite him?
Yeah.
It be old cargo. Can I join you guys?
Oh, it's brave, fresh, natural, eggs, mineral, water.
We still got it. Always keep hydrated naturally. That's my secret.
Manufactured with the primary aim of preserving nature's finest minerals necessary for a healthy mind and body. X Natural Mineral Water. Simply natural.
Welcome back, and thank you for choosing to be with us, your transformative program, Politics and Beyond. As I indicated before we went on break, about 2 or 3 weeks ago, we were in this country when it so happened that there was a purported marriage. A purported marriage. And I'm using the word purported because if you look at, someone with a legal background, I will tell you that if you look at strictly the definition of marriage in our law books, marriage can never take place between person and a deity. Marriage must take place between individuals, human beings. And so 3 weeks ago or so, it started from social media where it was alleged that one of the spiritual leaders of the Gandangbe kingdom, over 60 years of age, has gone to marry a minor, someone of age 12 or so. Then it came out that, no, the lady is not a minor. She's, technically she's just about 16 years. Of course, she's a minor, but she's just about 16 years and not 12 years as it was indicated. Then information also came that truthfully, it wasn't marriage in its sense or rightful sense or legal definition of marriage. But what actually happened was part of the tradition of the Ga Adangbes, where you are betrothed to, a virgin is betrothed to a deity. And that has nothing to do with marriage, as was being alleged and was being pronounced. Unfortunately, individuals who did not pay much attention, particularly some of my media colleagues, whom probably I would say should have known better, decided that they will follow emotions and not only misinform or mislead, but they will also confidently disrespect our traditional leaders. This evening, with all the hula balloons and the noise around it, the dust has settled. It is important for us to ask ourselves whether or not there has been any marriage. And so this evening's conversation is going to be centered on the topic, how did I marry a minor? We are going through a factual journey through the Gadangbe tradition. And we are extremely privileged to have with us. I mean, there's no other better person to help us this evening. And we are really privileged because it is very rare to have such a personality in any studio. And that's why we are privileged to have with us our Wulomo, Boni Numo Noi Osikan Benoku II. He is the Nadu Klote Wulomo of Osu traditional area. And so he's also my leader because I'm from Osu. And I am privileged to have my leader being with me in the studios here. Numo, welcome to Politics and Beyond.
Thank you.
We are so happy to have you here. And I believe that at the end of this conversation, we'll be able to, bring to the public's attention the facts as it is supposed to be. I'm sure you heard of it, not that you heard of it, you were part of the whole process where it so came out that one of our leaders have gone to marry a minor aged 12 years. It also happened that, and those of us watching that is the lady in question, 12 years. And it so happened that, well, she's not 12 years old, she's 16, or technically just about a month or two to be 16 years. It also happened that she's not actually married to, the leader, the traditional leader, but she's married to the deity. So many stories, so many things. People came out, those who derogate and with impunity disrespect the Gadangbe tradition. They have done all that. Others have come out and are trying to apologize because they were misled, they didn't get the information, they didn't get the facts and all that. Numo Ofine, what exactly is it?
Thank you very much for having me. I will start by saying there was no marriage to any human personality.
Okay.
And the picture you are seeing on your screens,
yes,
actually, it's not a picture of the day when that tradition was performed.
That picture.
It is about, yes, it is about 6 to 7 years ago picture. So it is only people who has mischievous minds to denigrate the Ga tradition who brought out this picture in order to disgrace or smear our holy prophets.
Right.
Walumokono Bokete Lawe through the 33rd with impunity.
Okay.
What actually happened need to happen to protect the child, not to destroy her.
Okay.
Because this child was conceived by the mother, and she remained in the womb for 2 years. That is 24 months.
Wow.
Going to the hospitals, going to gynecologists and all sorts of specialists couldn't help her. So she decided finally to consult the oracles. Unfortunately for her living in Nwa, she went to the Bobu deity, which is the highest deity in the Gadangbe land, to consult the oracle.
Yeah.
Fortunately for her, rituals were performed on her and she delivered the baby. And for another 2 years, this baby was sitting, couldn't crawl, couldn't walk.
She stayed in the womb for 2 years.
Yes.
She was delivered successfully.
Exactly.
And then 2 years again,
she was sitting, not crawling,
right,
nor walking.
Okay.
This is something a lot of people in Nungwa know about. They know it. So the mother and the father brought her back to the shrine, that is the Bobu temple. And another ritual was performed. And that was when the deity pronounced through a medium, that is through possessing a priestess. That was when the deity pronounced that this particular child must be taken care of. Nothing should happen to her. Nobody should toy with that child. So from that time on, the Bobu temple and the prophets or the priests and the Wulomoy in the temple started to take care of this child. And they took care of the child till the late Bobu died. So the present Bobu who is Walumokono Bokete-Lawe, the 33rd, took over. Yeah. So he consecrated the girl when she was about 10 years. When she can she can start or begin doing her priestly duties, doing her queenly duties. Yeah. So she started by carrying the holy water in the pot, in the sacred pot. And that was when she was made Na Oklomo, the queen of Jengewe. At that time, when she was made Na Oklomo, nobody, none of the child protection institutions rose up to say, no, she is too young. We don't want her to become a queen. Nobody said that.
That's right.
Year in, year out, she was doing her traditional duties by carrying water, and all these things were being shown on TVs, etc. It was being publicized. Nobody spoke anything. Nobody uttered a word.
I think the picture is one of the instances
when
she was carrying.
Was the first day.
Okay.
When she started doing her priestly duties.
Okay.
This was the first day. That was in 2018.
Right.
So when she started doing this, now, because due to the tradition and the rites within the temple, this girl should not pass through puberty before going into that ritual.
Right.
She should remain a virgin to pass through the ritual which was recently performed for her.
Okay. So the ritual actually was supposed to do what? What is the ritual about?
The deity,
yes,
at the time that she was delivered from sitting down,
yes,
pronounced that at this particular age, when she gets to the age of 16, that rite, queenly rite, priestly rite, to be performed on her before she transpires into, she goes into puberty.
Okay, puberty, very well.
Now, if you want to do this thing, it is not we the humans or the high priest, Walumokono Bokete-Lawe, who is going to prescribe what or how he is going to do it. No, it is the deity that prescribes what should be done. So what the deity prescribed was what was done that day. If all the people who were there to observe that rite could bear witness and speak the truth, no ring, no Bible, no tradition was performed in the way the Ga people say, Wawoga.
Exactly. Yeah.
The unfortunate thing that happened that the lady who became the linguist, who was chosen to be the linguist, actually was not a priestess, and she did not understand what was going on. Right. So the way things were going over excitement made her pronounce certain things and reacted in such a way that people thought there was being a carnal marriage, which is wrong. It wasn't so at all. It wasn't so at all. But what was done was spiritually what needed to be done. She was to be engaged, married to the deity. When we say married to the deity in inverted commas, it is not marriage of carnal knowing, no. The priestesses of various mediums that we have, we say in Ga, Jemawo Yareyu. That is the word the deity is going to marry.
That's right.
So when the deity marries, actually, or normally, rites are performed. Let's go back into our Mosaic days. Let's see a woman like Hannah. When she was barren, she wasn't delivering babies, she wasn't being able to have babies. She went to Shiloh, where the Lord is worshipped. And in her pain, she went into the temple and prayed and pledged that if Adonai or Yahweh gives her a child, she specifically asked for a baby boy.
Exactly.
She will pledge that child to Yahweh for that boy to serve Let's assume if that child were to be a girl, at the age of 6 or 7, when he or she was weaned, she was still a minor.
Exactly.
But she was given to Eli for him to serve in the temple. It is in the same thing. We are Hebrews. We, the guys, are Hebrews. We are not Israelites.
That's
no.
true.
People will be saying we are Israel. No. We are Hebrews. We are the descendants of David, descendants of Moses, descendants of Solomon. Yes. We are not Israelites, as people do say. Although we come from that land. So now, when was Israel formed? The name Israel was given to Jacob. We agree. But the state Israel was formed somewhere in 1948, which at that time we were on this land. We've been here for 826 years.
Yeah.
These rites were being performed undisturbed. Now let's see what the politicians tell us in our constitution.
But even before we get there, I want to know whether this is the very first time the Gadangbes are performing such rites.
No.
So if this is not the first time, what is it that has brought about all this attention and noise? Is it because of the misinformation, misrepresentation? Because clearly this is really the first time such a thing is traveling, to the extent that we are even having the police and other institutions coming in, which we'll get to. But I wanted to know what makes you think that this, if this is not the first time, what is unique about this that has brought about all this misinformation?
Yes. This particular rite, or what we performed recently, is unique, or was unique, because the deity specifically prescribed what must be done and how it should be done. So that is what we did. And in the days of our late Babu Romu, may his soul rest in peace, there was no such money to do what we did. But now, our Walumokono Bokete the 30th, being literate and very active in his duties, have been able to harness the properties that belongs to the Babu deity. So resources have been coming in. So if the deity's monies or the deity's resources are being used as prescribed or said by the deity, it does not spell out that Babu Wulomo is marrying a minor. No. Let me say this. This particular tradition moves with cognatic relationship. If that girl, the whole world is saying she is a minor, hadn't been a relative or somebody related to the deity, related to the priests of the deity, this thing will not have happened, because it is a holy position in that it is only those within the priestly family can be chosen to do that. And she is one of them. So no, let me say, stranger can come into that system. When you have a deity in Ghana, when you have a deity in certain places, or certain houses, or certain families, most of the time the deities possess people who are cognitively related to the family and the priest. They don't go out. The deities know exactly who is who I would say who is perfect for that particular position. They will not go out to possess any other person. And that is exactly what happened to our Nayomo Ayemwede.
Very true.
So anybody, and most of the people, because this particular tradition, it is only the deity who makes the choice. So no man can just get up and say, okay, I can see that Ajele's daughter is very beautiful, so let's put her in that position to become our queen. No. But the deity selects. And it takes time. As I am speaking, a lot of Ghana people who have such deities in their families will bear with me and understand what I'm saying. When there is a deity and the priestess or the priest of that deity passes away, it takes time for the deity to bring another person because it chooses very carefully. It chooses very carefully. So the deity will not just get up and choose just anybody. So when the deity chooses, then from there, that person will be groomed or taken care of. This girl, as I'm saying, from the day she started carrying that pot, was giving a maid, not just a little girl, but a senior priestess, a car to be taking her to school. And this car has a driver. And when she gets to school, the driver and the maid will have to wait for her.
Interesting.
Till she closes school and they will bring her back home.
Right from infancy.
Right from infancy. And she's been living with one of our queen mothers. So she was being groomed for this particular position. She's not just anybody. And let me take this opportunity to say that informally or in the medieval days, these our Ghana women were looked down upon. They were considered illiterate or they were considered inferior. So they were even given their quarters to live in. And because they were illiterate, they didn't have the opportunity to do any industrial work to raise funds for themselves. So what they do is they go into trading. And the sort of trading that they do, unfortunately, are not the type of trading that can raise their financial status or their prestigious status. No. So when it comes to this mediumship, they get the privilege to be respected. The town folks, the chiefs, the elders respect them and give them back their dignity. So this girl is being given her dignity. Why is the whole country against her dignity? This is what I'm saying. They are against her dignity.
Is it also an issue of, because I've heard that a number of times, and you were going to make reference to that, and I'm sure we can get to it. Is it an issue of what transpired conflicting with the laws of this country?
When we are going to read the Constitution, can we read?
We can. But first off, even when talking about it conflicting, the argument that has come all this while has to do with marriage.
Exactly.
And I have said that as far as I know and as far as the laws are concerned, the definition of marriage, maybe that is where the issue is. Married to a deity, married to the priest. And it has been cleared, at least this evening it has been cleared that the marriage is not between the lady in question or the queen mother and the priest, but it is the queen mother and the deity. And I think that is not even limited to just the Ghana Dangbe tradition. It is something that goes on in almost all the traditions that I am privy to, be exposed to.
Thank you very much. When we come to the Akan people, we have what they call Nkonyayiri.
Yeah.
That is explicitly far different from this.
Okay.
Because the Nkonyayiri at times becomes the traditional wife of the chief.
Yeah.
Some of the deities also have Abosomyiri. That is also far different from this.
Yes.
But this is a queenly position, which is far higher than all the queens that we have in the Dangbe land. And this thing has happened about 300 years ago when we were at Wadokum. When we came from Benin, we sited our town at a place near where we presently have the East Airport residential area.
Sure.
That is where we had Wadokum. So Wadokum was our first town. It is not a strange name. And what people's conception actually made the whole thing, the whole idea, or the whole system confused everybody. What brought the ambiguity and what brought the ambivalence is all about what they heard about marriage. So I don't even want to go there, because this is not marriage.
So we need not even amplify it.
At all.
Ab initio, it is not. There's nothing
not
like
marriage.
that.
A betrothed, whatever. It is not so.
Right.
But it is a right to be performed for a virgin of her age, so that she will have the prestige of a queenly prestige to be higher than all her contemporaries in Nwa and in Gadangbe.
Can it be an issue of the Gadangbe's failing to let the world know what its tradition really is? Because
sadly,
if this is something that has been going on and this is not the first time, then truthfully, it will be difficult for anyone to first misunderstand, misinterpret, and even misrepresent what transpired.
I will praise Walumokono Bokete Lawe, the 33rd, for bravely bringing out a tradition which was formerly performed quietly on the silent. But he wanted the beauty of our tradition to be known and to be seen and to be appreciated. This is where people had the context wrong and thought Babu Romo is marrying a minor.
Yeah.
No. Cognitively, this minor is his granddaughter. So how can he marry his own granddaughter? It's impossible.
Yeah.
The point is, if this particular rites, as it was performed elsewhere, and I repeat, elsewhere in Ghana, and as I'm saying, a lot of people will see where I am heading to. People from the government or governmental sectors will be selected or will be called or formed. A team will be formed to go and inquire and even join in that. But Babu Romo invited all the dignitaries who are the powers that be, who are within the corridors of politics, who are within the corridors of security, who are within the corridors of these child protection agencies. He invited everybody. So if there is not a surreptitious mind somewhere, somebody somewhere who is trying or who is working hardly, seriously, to denigrate the Gadangwe people, this shouldn't have happened.
What would be the motivation? Because I have also heard of so many instances where arguments out there says that, well, even the Gadangbe people or tradition or kingdom, they themselves seems not to be packaging and presenting themselves so well for people to really see and feel their presence and their authority. And so anyone and everyone would just want to abuse them and then, just move up and down. Rightly so, as you said, if this had probably happened elsewhere in this land called Ghana, the approach may have been different.
Yes.
And if that whole process involved conscious invitation of such individuals that you have mentioned, then clearly, if there was really something illegal about it, I don't think that invitation would have even taken place.
Exactly the matter in this case. Exactly. So what prompted the hula baloo that people are saying Babu Romo is marrying a minor, Babu Romo 63 marrying 12-year-old girl? Why now? Now that we have brought the age, the true age of the girl out. So who said the girl was 12 years? And why did that person say that?
Has the tradition been able to fish out who said that? Because I believe the Gadangbe tradition should have the mechanism to identify who really started this whole misconception. Because it has really brought...
I don't want to sit on television and mention names.
That's fine.
That is something I would not want to do. Yes. Because as soon as you mention names, then you try to put people in certain positions that they will become enemies of their brothers and their sisters.
Very true.
So I don't want to go there.
Very true.
But we know exactly where the issue was coming from. But what we need to do now is to expose the tradition, expostulate whatever happened, explain it, tell people exactly what happened, so that the authorities who heard what they heard, who perceived what they perceived, who conceived what they conceived, to think or to see our tradition in the eye of criminality, so that they would understand that this is not what they are thinking.
That's right. Where's our queen?
Our queen presently is in the care, preventive care of the police. That is what we know. So, and I know the police will not keep her in cells. Definitely, the police will give her to these social welfare people, or probably those child protection agencies to take good care of her. That is what I know. But very soon they will release her, because she has a kingly duty to perform. That is somewhere in 21st of April. She'll have to prepare. She'll have to fast for about 3 days before the time comes, and she'll have to be prepared for that day, so that she will begin her duties.
Ever since this arrest took place, has the council or the Gadangbe tradition, has there been any attempt to visit those, and in this case, the IGP's office, the authorities, to let them know that they were misinformed?
There have been a lot of behind-the-scenes meetings, in the Syria meetings and all that, and they have understood that the public was misinformed. Unfortunately, they have agreed to release our queen. Yeah. Well, but what I'm saying is, we have something we call independence.
Exactly.
In the colonial days, our colonial masters met us on this land, performing our rights, traditions, customs, and usages. They did not prevent us from performing those customs and usages. They did not prevent us from performing our traditions and customs. They didn't do that. And then the transition of independence came in. Why is it that within our own selves, within ourselves, we are trying to prevent certain people from performing their rites and traditions, and allowing certain people to perform their rites and traditions? And yet we say that the Constitution guarantees tradition and chieftaincy. Now, the unfortunate part of it is the Act 759 did not clothe the priests, that is the Uromo. So our traditions and our customs and our priestly duties cannot be divulged out of the blue. Unless you come near us and you want to know, then we will have to teach you what it is and how it is done. So without that, whatever we do, you might not understand it. When we talk about ban on noise making and drumming, it is not the chiefs whom we call in Ghana Majia Cheme. It isn't their duty to do that. It is the duty of we, the priests, the Ulomwe. We perform those rites. And so we know the essence and the penalties that goes with breaking those laws. So we insist that our Asafwacheme make sure that the laws are not broken. And when we send the Asafwacheme out, there are always, and I say always, stubborn people who are not Gans, especially some of these our charismatic churches. They refuse to obey that. But even when they read the Bible, if they really know the Bible, there were days in the Bible when they call it Lent and other things that they need silence to concentrate and meditate. Why is it that they see ours as what I call fetish? This fetish word is not English word. Let's see what the English or our colonial masters call our chiefs' thrones. What they call them? They call theirs throne.
Exactly.
And they call ours stool. What is the meaning of stool? What is the meaning of stool? There are only two meanings of stool. When you go into the in Oxford English language, there are only two meanings to stool. That is an object you can place your foot on. Or when you get to the medical laboratory, the excrement you take to the medical laboratory, that is stool. So in the clear sense, our chieftaincy, our dignity is being denigrated. And we are looking at this, and we are not trying to do anything about it, and we are accepting it, that this chief has a stool, this chief has a stool. I don't have a stool, and I don't need a stool. That's right. I don't have a stool, and I don't need a stool, because it is denigrative. I don't need it.
That is beautiful. Honestly, this definition of stool.
So it is the same people who saw our traditions and our rites and rituals and said, this is fetish. Fetico. This is fetish. Fetish means dirty. And we accept it. And we call our holy priestesses fetish priests. Fetish priestesses. No, it's wrong. This is where we have to emancipate from that darkness. And this particular darkness is what is emanating into whatever understanding people are having in our rites and traditions. And therefore, this is the very reason why they don't want to accept the simple statement that the girl is married to a deity.
Why can't we have our traditions being taught in schools? Because clearly...
This is a question, a very multi-million, I will not say CD, multi-million-dollar question. Because the Ga language on Gadangwe land has been banned, surreptitiously banned, secretly banned.
We are not teaching the Ga language.
I'm saying this loudly and vehemently because it hurts me to see that schools in our land, on our land, who are supposed to teach the Ga language, are not teaching the Ga language. They refuse to teach the Ga language. Wow. They refuse to teach the Ga language. Recently, because of this notion that has crept into our people's minds, recently when I attempted to communicate what was done in Nungwa, in the Twi language, most of my own people started castigating, throwing tantrums, that why should I speak Twi language? But I know communication cuts across languages.
Beautiful.
That was why I used the Twi language. For those people, others in power who do not understand the Ga language, the police people, the people who are child protecting agencies, and then the government, and the people within the Jubilee House and other places who have the power to say what should happen, to understand that what is happening is not marriage. Because even in Accra, I can say 80% of the people in Accra speak Twi. And they even refuse to speak Ga. When you speak Ga, they will tell you, excuse my language, that's how they meant it.
I've experienced that so many times.
Yes. And the language is the language of the Gadangbe land. So what I see is that it looks as if somebody somewhere, I'll continue to say this, somebody somewhere is interested in destroying the existential life of the Gadangwe people. For what reason? Probably, I may say for our lands. Since 1877, when the capital was transferred from Pepos to Accra, I would want to ask, I may not know, I beg to differ, I stand to be corrected. What actually went on document between the chiefs of Gadangwe and the government that brought the capital into Accra? Now, most of our lands, excuse me to diverge into that place, most of our lands have been taken over in the name of government acquisition for the purpose of government business.
Right.
It is right for it to be done. But now, there is a word being used. And me, I don't buy that word. They'll say, oh, compensation has been paid. The lawyers, the people who read and write, the politicians should define the word compensation. It is paid for the loss of benefit that you would have on your property.
Sure.
And for how long?
That's right.
For perpetuity? If you are giving 1,000 CDs for an acre and you are giving, let's say, 1 million or say 1 billion, your great-grandchildren who will be coming after you, would they come to meet that 1 billion? So you cannot tell me you have taken my land and you are giving me a compensation for my land, and that compensation you are giving to me because of that, and then you keep the land, and when the land is not being used for the purpose why you took the land, you do what we call variation, and then you'll be selling the land for individuals.
But this, sorry, as you said, okay, please go on.
This is the core of the matter, why the Gadangwe people are being pushed into the sea. This is why the Gadangwe people are being destroyed. Our traditions, our language, and everything about us is being destroyed. They want to exterminate the Ga people. That is, I would say that bravely. They want to exterminate the Ga people. The Bobu issue just recently died down.
Yeah.
And then look at what happened in Tema.
That's right.
If these people have been performing this play for so many years now, nothing happens. Now, there is a statement from the Armed Forces Public Relations Office that they were provoked. This is the armed forces who are constitutionally mandated to protect us. They are the defense unit of the government and the people of Ghana.
That's right.
Somewhere in other countries, you cannot see the armed forces loitering around in the town.
Very true.
But in Ghana, they go everywhere. And we think it is allowed. We believe probably they are trying to protect us. So when there is a procession of play dancers and a commander of the Navy drives his car through the crowd, in that time, some of them will be under the influence of alcohol. Some will be under the influence of excitement. And out of so many things, they will probably overdo things. So if something happens to the car, it wouldn't be deliberate.
Right.
Because the car has been branded, and you know this is a military vehicle. So unless something untoward happened that disturbed the procession, nothing would have happened to that car.
That's right.
So if the Armed Forces Public Relations are telling us, office are telling us that these boys or the youth rushed into their installation and started throwing stones, no, I will not take it. I will not buy it. It is not true.
That's true.
It is not true. It is some part of the machinations to destroy our existence. We call something in this thing what we call bureaucracy, or we call it confidential instructions. There is something going on. There is some fire burning under the bush. And we are seeing it.
But what do you think will be the benefit of those powers that, whoever it is? What will be the benefit? Is it just so that they'll take charge of the Gadangbe lands, or what is it?
That is what I would say. Because what is the benefit of war in the colonial days? Why do they go to war?
Get territories. Yeah.
It is to occupy your territory.
Yeah.
So if today I am seeing, or they are seeing, that the capital here has become a prime area where they can live and grow their families to become rich, and grow their families to become prominent, and grow their families who are outside in the, what I would say, in the hinterlands, to come down here, make money, so that they will become popular, they will become prestigious. Definitely, there is something that is pushing them to do what they are doing. If it is not the land, it is what they will gain out of the land.
This is really getting interesting. What I'm going to do, we are also mindful of our time. The messages have come in, so many messages. The conversation is so interesting, and I just wish I'm not even interjecting for our leader to speak and tell us all the things that we need to do. But we'll take a quick break. Before we take the break, I will just go through some of the messages that have come, and then we'll see the thinking of our viewers also. So I say, my name is Zach. In modern societies, we have examples like the Catholic sisters and nuns. They say they are married to the Almighty God for life. So that's an example Zach gave. He didn't tell us where it's coming from. Our spiritual leader is giving us some explanation, so he really knows what he's saying. Okay, so this is a message for you. The name didn't come. Good evening. I love you. Keep it up. God bless you. And this is Atule Peter from Bogatanga. Good evening, Honorable. This your noble platform is an admirable one, and everyone in my territory loves it. All your panelists are eloquent and endorses truth in their contributions they make. Such prominent personalities should be given the room to rule the country. Ghana, and not those selfish persecutors, incompetent, and hooligans who we are experiencing of late. Thanks. This is God Bless Aka from Nzima, Eyinase, Elembele District. Good evening, Mr. Wilson. Watching you from Kumasi, the explanation is very clear. The brouhaha over this whole issue is as a result of miscommunication. This is from Philip Kuma. Thank you. Technology and social media platforms have opened the way for some traditions and cultures to be known to the public. It places a duty on those who do not have any knowledge and ideas about such cultures and traditions to research and find out the truth. The Gandangbe lands belong to the Gandangbes. This is from Papa Ike Tema. Good evening, Mr. Wilson. My name is Na Ajiti. I'm a Gan. And we the Gans, this culture being our culture, we know about it. So whenever it is done everywhere in our land, we know about it. The strangers, I mean those who do not understand our culture, should ask or research very well before insulting our mothers and fathers. Else all the accounts should go back to the attack. Okay, thank you, Na Jiti. Good evening, Mr. Wilson. Wow, I'm loving the discussion. Education is a key. Our leaders' presentations are on point, but this is one of the issues of social media. We jump into conclusion without verification. Let's all be mindful of what we put out there for public consumption. God bless him for this education. I'm Fuseini Mohammed from Sefi, Adabu Krum Polyclinic. All right. I was very worried about this alleged marriage. This is not just an issue of misinformation, but also tarnishing the image of the Gandangbe. This is from someone. The name did not come. This new development won't apply to the paramount queen of Manyakrobo. And this is Mati Doku from Kwewu. I don't understand that, but that's okay. Can the queen mother marry any other man when she turns the age of about 23 years? Okay, yes. I'm sure our leader will explain this, respond to it. Please, we don't have a lot of Ghana teachers. We need more trained Ghana teachers. Well, it has also been just addressed. Unfortunately, it looks like the Ghana teachers are being trained, and when they qualify to be Ghans, they are actually posted outside the Ghana terrain. And that is quite unfortunate. This one says, your name didn't come. This one says, so can the said girl have her freedom to marry when she's of age? Okay, so similar to this one. Another one says, so can I marry her when she attained 18 years? And this from Selom Adenta. Selom. I salute this great mind you have in your studio. I believe more of such is needed for the information of the public. We believe everything was done wrong, but now you can see tradition at play. This is Honorable Richard Ahiafo. Okay, the messages are coming in. A lot of them seems to be coming in. But as I indicated, we are going to take a commercial break. All right. So before we go, because our time is running out, let me read through some other messages that have come, and that is what my producer tells me to do. Okay. So our queen can marry any man at all when she is of age. And again, this is from Na Ajil. Okay. So this is a question that comes, and a lot of people are asking about it. All right. She's not married to the priest.
Yeah.
She's married to a deity.
Yeah.
You are marrying her at age, below 18. Arguably, someone would say that she didn't give her consent to it. Though traditionally she has been prepared for it. She didn't give her consent to it. If she gets to age of majority and she decides that, okay, she wants to marry, as in marry in the real sense of marriage, is she allowed to?
Thank you very much. First and foremost, I will not want to agree to the fact that she did not give consent to it because her parents are alive. And at 16, she knows what is right and what is wrong. And she's been in this tradition since she was 10 years. Yeah. And she accepted the tradition. So she knows she is not being married to any human being. That is one fact. Yeah. And I will tell the whole public, and the whole Ghanaians that any man this girl chooses when she reaches her marriage age is very fortunate. Because if this tradition or rites were not to be performed, that man who would be marrying this girl will have to perform all what was done. And that is a lot of money. And probably that would have prevented people from coming near her, and she will remain unmarried till her death. So it is rather very fortunate that this particular rite has been performed on her. So she is free to marry any man of her choice.
Okay. So she can marry any man of her choice. Now, again, the argument of she didn't give a consent, I think that argument is mute. It's mute in the sense that, just like you rightly said, the parents are alive.
Yes, and she's 16.
She's 16. Even if she's not 16 years.
If what they are conceiving, what they are perceiving to be what was done, is what was done.
Yes.
At 16, she is right to be betrothed.
But it wasn't even that. But in all of this, I would not want to believe that her entire family are illiterate and do not even know what is right from wrong. Why is it that in all of this noise, we've not heard anything from any of her family members, if indeed what is put in the public space is true?
They've been speaking, but because of the louder noise or of wrong perception, so they are not being listened to. So they are not being heard. So people who want to know what is happening always make up their minds before going to listen to what they want to listen. And then they don't go to the right people to hear what they want to hear.
Right.
So they've already made up their conceptions. They've made their mind that this is what is happening. The Ghana people are like that. The Ghana people are always doing wrong things. The Ghana people are excuse me to say, are not cultured. But if what happened here and the outburst of Okatechi were to be the journalists were to be in Kumasi, were to be in Achim, I believe, and I strongly believe, something might have happened to the radio station and the very person who made the pronouncement. But to date, we've taken it cool we've accepted that he made a mistake. He did not know. So this shows that the Gadangme people are really cultured. So people should not take our leniency to be as, excuse my language, to be our stupidity. No. We want to live in peace with our brothers from all the other parts of the country who come here to look for their daily bread. We want to live in peace with them. So we don't do things that will disturb the peace of the country. But I'm telling the authorities, these secret plans that they've been doing and attacking our tradition and trying to bring our existential lives down and trying to put our lives out from Ghana is a slow fire that has been ignited on the dunghill. They must stop it and quench the fire. Other than that, they are fanning a dangerous fire like what happened in Rwanda. Ethnicity, ethnic conflicts, they are fanning it. Because when you even chase a toad and it gets tired, it will turn itself and become a serpent and chase you. So they should take time, study the grounds, and then make sure this particular attack on our culture, our tradition, our languages, and our rights in our land must cease. We plead with them. They must cease. Because we are seeing it. We are not blind. We are not daft. We are not inept. We are seeing everything that is happening. But because we are priests, and most of us, we teach our people humility and peace. So we are trying to curb everything that is becoming an uprising. We try to curb it. But if the powers that be don't assist us to curb those things, then automatically, as Kwame Nkrumah said, the volcano will erupt.
The volcano will erupt. Let me go through the last batch. Of course, I'll not be able to finish it all, but just the very last batch. Good evening, Mr. Wilson. Great discussions. Let our elders teach us our rituals and traditions, even where we come from, our roots. Okay, you didn't bring your name. I salute your great guest. The great guest you have in your studio. I believe more is needed for the information of the public. I think I've gone through this. I wish your guest will stay for long. It's really giving us a detailed traditional sense. Recently, they tried to say Tetekwashi is not a Ga. And this is Hayford from Bato. Good evening, Mr. Wilson. I'm very happy to learn from your guest this evening. He is a man of wisdom. I salute him. This is Moses from Atimpoku. Good evening, Mr. Wilson. Thank you for this insightful program. Please tell the spiritual leader that the plans of all enemies and the hypocrites who are planning to denigrate the Gans will be in vain. They just want to tarnish the beautiful image of the Gans. God bless. God be with us all. This is Mustafa from Takwa. Wilson, please tell our Ulomo that I congratulate and salute him. We need more enlightenment from our spiritual leaders. Okay, you didn't add your name. Our guest today is such an intelligent man. He speaks really well. Thank you for the insight. God bless you, sir, and keep inspiring and impacting us with knowledge. This from Andraina. Good evening. My wish is my Ghana leaders must ban that foolish guy, called a free far from Accra. Just to set an example, please. I'm testing from Kanda, Flagstaff House. Okay. I am Kwejo Dope from Somanya. I'm really enjoying this discussion from you and your great man. And the way you are putting the questions in order. In fact, you people are super dope. And I have really learned a lot about culture today, especially the Ghana Dangbe. You didn't add your name. This one says, I'm Kwejo. Okay, so this has repeated itself. My leader, so, I mean, obviously we've all learned so many things. Unfortunately, our time is up. I will just In wrapping up, your last words for us.
Okay, thank you. What I would say is, I am pleading with our leaders and the powers that be, that if you look into our Constitution and our Chieftaincy Act 759, the Constitution guarantees our customary law and our tradition and our traditional institutions and everything. But it actually did not codify what the tradition entails. So there are certain things that they would need to let people come near us from the chieftaincy ministry, so that they will come to learn, so that in future, if there is any need for the Constitution to be reviewed, so that they can put those things there. And I'm pleading with them. Ethnicity is a very, very sensitive area, that when you turn a blind eye on ethnicity, then it will take you unawares. Because what is happening now in Accra, probably some of them might be seen as mere accidents, but we might not. Most of us might not take it as accidents, but might take it as deliberate acts to denigrate us, deliberate acts to eliminate us, deliberate acts just to extinguish our existential lives. Because already we've been drumming into the ears of the Ghana Education Service that we need our language, the Ghana language, to be brought back into our curricula. But till date, nothing has been said about it. When the Ghana teachers come from the universities and they want to teach the Ghana in our land, they are transferred into the hinterlands, to the northern region, to the Brown region, where they don't speak Ghana. And they bring in those people who cannot speak Ghana or understand Ghana. We want our children, fine, we want our children to learn the English language. So we appreciate that you are teaching them in the English language. But our language is our heritage. Right. So we want our language taught in our schools.
Beautiful. Our language is our heritage. We want the language to be taught in our schools. Just like the guys who say, Gama Shipon, Gama Noni. All too soon, this is where time will allow us. I believe we've learned something. And so this coming Wednesday, as always done, this coming Wednesday, this episode is going to be repeated on the same platform, TV XYZ, at exactly 11 a.m. I want you to watch it again. I want you to learn from it again. Call in your friends, call in your colleagues, and then make sure that they also tune in this coming Wednesday. Next week, Monday, same time, we are going to have another interesting topic to discuss. Remember, in all of this, we are preparing ourselves towards the 2024 December general elections. And it is only on this platform, Politics and Beyond, that you'll be able to get the necessary information to transform your mind in making the right decision for the sake of Ghana. Not just for your benefit, not just for my benefit, but for the benefit of even our children who are yet to be born, the next generation. On your behalf, on my behalf, on behalf of the production team, we want to say a very big thank you to our leader. Thank you so much. It is such a privilege. It's such a privilege. Thank you so much. Till we meet again next week, remember, it is still your host, Emmanuel Wilson Jr., and I'm saying good night for now.